Welcome back, lottery fans. Today I'm going to be showing another example of how to use lottery wheels. I'm going to be using the Pick 5 lottery wheel again, and today I'm going to run through an example using the US Powerball multi-state lottery. Now, for those of you that don't know what a lottery wheel is, it's basically a lottery system that allows you to select a subset of numbers, of the possible numbers that can be drawn, and organize them in a certain pattern within your various different lines or tickets that will guarantee you a win within that lottery. And there are hundreds of different lottery wheels out there, but for this example I'm going to show you what is called the 3 in 8 wheel. And basically what that means is you're going to be picking 8 numbers that could potentially be drawn, and if 3 of those numbers are actually drawn in the lottery draw, you're guaranteed to win a prize. So for example, in the Powerball lottery, there are always 5 base numbers drawn. We're going to have a pool of 8 numbers which we can select from, and if in those 5 numbers that are drawn, 3 of your 8 numbers come out, you're guaranteed to win a prize in the Powerball. Won't necessarily be the jackpot prize, but you're guaranteed to win a prize. You could potentially win the jackpot prize as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started, and hopefully you'll be able to follow along with this. If not, by all means go back, rerun the video, try it again. But this, as I said, this is going to be for the Powerball US lottery, and as I said, this can work in any lottery that has a similar kind of format. I'm just going to be showing you with the Powerball. So the first step in this is to go ahead and pick your 8 numbers that you want to you're hoping that some of these will actually be drawn in the lottery. Now there's many different ways in which you can pick those 8 numbers. You might want to use birth dates, or you might want to use license plates, or you might want to use some kind of dream word lookup or something like that. I personally like to go with hot and cold numbers and do a selection of mixture of hot and cold numbers that have been from previous draws. And I find those hot and cold numbers by going to lotterypredictor.com. Surprise, surprise. And if you actually go to lotterypredictor.com, and on the first page here, if you go to the menu, select Powerball, and then hot and cold numbers, you'll actually see all of the hot and cold numbers that have been pre-calculated for you. And these hot and cold numbers are actually drawn from an algorithm I put together that goes on past historical drawings for frequency and time and a couple other different things, so we can actually figure out what the hot and cold numbers were. And I always like to pick 4 of the hot numbers and 4 of the cold numbers and then mix those up in my wheel. So let's go ahead and start with that. So on the hot numbers, this time I'm going to choose lucky number 7, I'm going to choose 17, I'm going to choose 29, and I'm going to choose 61. And out of my cold numbers, I'm going to be picking 26 and 40 and 44 and 51. Simple as that. So now that we have our numbers set up, you'll see I've actually placed them very easily in this grid. And I forgot to mention, if you actually want this rundown worksheet, this lottery wheel worksheet, it's a free download. You can go ahead and click the link in the description below, and you can download this completely for free. So once we've filled in our boxes here, you'll see each box is labeled with a number 1 through 8, and this signifies the actual number on your line that number corresponds to. That may be a little bit confusing, but I'm going to step you through this so it actually makes a little bit more sense, hopefully. So what we do is we take each of our wheel lines here, and we have 8 of them, which will then result in 8 different tickets that we'll buy, or 8 lines on our ticket that we'll buy. And we take each number and fill in the corresponding number in our grid on the line. So our very first one here is position number 2. So we look up here in our grid, and position number 2 we wrote 17. So our first number on this first line is going to be 17. The second number here is 3. So in position number 3 we wrote 29. So our next number here is going to be 29. Position number the third one here is going to be number 4. Position number 4 we wrote 61, so we'll write 61 in here. Number 5 is 26, so we'll write 26 here. And lastly, the last number on our first line is position number 7, which we wrote 44, so we'll put that in here. So that's our first line. Moving on to the second line, we're going to be looking for position 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7. So 1 is 7, 2 is 17, 4 is 61, 6 is 40, and 7 is 44. Then again, on to the next line, we've got position 1, 4, 5, 6, and 8. 1 is 7, so we put 7 in the first spot. 4 is 61, so 61 goes in the second spot. 5 is 26, 26 goes in the second spot. 6 is 40, so 40 goes in that spot. And 8 is 51, so 51 goes in that spot. And it's very important to pay attention closely as you're writing these numbers down. You have to follow these exactly. If you do mess up, it will break the guarantee that you're going to win if 3 of those 8 numbers come out. So just pay close attention as you're filling this in. On to the next line. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 3 is 29. 4 is 61. 6 is 40. 7 is 44. And 8 is 51. Next line, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. That's 7, 17, 29, 26, and 40. And as you start to fill this in, you'll notice that no line is exactly the same. The way in which this wheel works is it spaces out all of your numbers so that there's a guarantee that if 3 of these 8 numbers are drawn, it's going to turn up on one of these lines. And very often it will turn up on multiple lines as well. So let's go moving on here. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 17, 26, 40, 44, and 51. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 is 7, 17, 29, 61, and 51. And the very last line, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8. That's 7, 29, 26, 44, and 51. So there we go. These are the 8 lines that we can now play for the Powerball US lottery draw. And if any 3 of these numbers are drawn, we're guaranteed to win something on here. As I said, you may win just with 3 numbers, or hopefully we'll pick 4 or even 5 numbers. Now there is no provision for the Powerball in here. I would recommend picking a single Powerball and playing it in here. So for example, you might want to play the number 7. And that will be your Powerball for all of these lines here. I recommend sticking with the same Powerball. It just maximizes your odds there of actually hitting something if 7 comes out. So let's go ahead and run through an example of how the drawing might turn out. So for example, if we have the drawing that comes up on Wednesday, and we see the numbers 29, 40, and 44 come out, we can then start going through our lines here and figuring out which lines will hit. And here we go. Here's 29, here's 40, and here's 44. So we won there. We've got a line here. Let's run through another example here. Let's go ahead and pick 7, 17, and 40 again. So if those 3 numbers came out, now we can go through our lines here and say where did it hit. And here we go. Here's a hit right here. 7, 17, and 40 right there. So there we go. Perfect example there that if we actually do get 3 of these numbers drawn out of the 8, we are hitting on each of these cards here. If you like this video, please leave me a comment below. Let me know that this is the kind of thing you'd like to see more of, and I'll try and find some more wheels with different combinations that we can play for different lotteries. Leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks. Bye.